Hey everybody, we're here with episode 29 and with the MAREI PartnerCast, and today we are talking about roofing with our roofing expert, David Lopez with Blue Rain Roofing and Restoration. Thanks for joining us today, David.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
As we're all real estate investors, we obviously go through some turbulent times with ever-changing weather, and we may not pay attention to roofing guidelines and the tips and advice until it's time to get a new one, and then we're usually in a rush to do our due diligence. But hopefully we'll get some information from yourself today for when the time comes. People don't have to make any rash decision. It's always good being obviously prepared, because it's a big purchase, and working with claims and insurance, or even if you're just putting one on your personal home or investment property, it's definitely a big purchase. So you need to know how to do that, and maybe even obviously different types when they call you guys. So go ahead and give people an introduction of yourself and Blue Rain Roofing. Obviously, you're pretty active on the real estate forum, so it'll be good for people to see you here live and get the interview going.
Yeah. Hey, group. So my name is David Lopez. I own a company called Blue Rain Roofing and Restoration. Just kind of give you my story. I always joke around and say I've been in the business since I was 9 years old. My stepfather actually still owns a local business here, so we compete quite a bit still, which is fun. Spent a lot of my summers with him and the crews since probably till I was about 16, 17 with the guys working. So always, like I said, that's just something I've done my whole life. It's been in my family. So definitely know a lot about the business. Started with him and worked with that business until 2016. Was a family business, never planned on leaving. Unfortunately, we didn't really see eye to eye on things. So that's when I started Blue Rain Roofing and Restoration in 2016. We're a family owned and operated business. My mother, Terry, she's actually our office manager. My wife, Anna, she does accounts receivable. So if you owe us any money, she'll be calling, yelling at you. Just joking there. And my father-in-law, he's a marketing manager and a sales director here with us. So our primary trades are roofing, siding, and gutters, and we do both residential and commercial. We have our certifications through major manufacturers, so we can offer special warranties, things of that sort that most companies cannot. And that's a little bit about me, who I am, and my background of the company. John, you want me to go into anything else, or you got any questions right now?
No. So, I'm checking out the website, bluerainroofing.com. You guys got a website and all your services on there. It looks like it's put together pretty well. I'm glad to see a modern website, because sometimes I see with a lot of contractors websites from the 1990s still. I don't know if people understand that the professional look is important just to navigate it. So appreciate that.
Well, that's important to us. And just so you know, the website is bluerainroofing.com. And we actually just redid it about 8 months ago, because we were that contractor that had that basic website.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was important, but it really is. And it kind of, when someone visits us without knowing who we are, it sets the tone that, hey, these guys look good, it's professional. So that's what we're wanting to. When they see that it gives them a good experience of who we are from the front. And then once they call us, then they really see the rest of the story. So.
Yeah. I like to see it. Maybe it's just me, but someone that has more of an updated, modern website, I just feel like they're keeping up on technology from the marketing side, so they're probably keeping up on technology from roofing standards. If usually those go hand in hand. So that's
Very
definitely good to see.
And we do utilize technology quite a bit. So just from on the roofing side, I mean, we have aerial measurements now that take satellite imagery. We don't have to get on a roof no more if we don't want to measure the roof. So I can just get the report real quick, and within an hour, I have a very accurate estimate of that roof and the measurements. So We use technology for tracking hailstorms, which is pretty cool. We can get the size, how many homes were damaged, the value of the homes, the person's information. I mean, so we utilize technology every day up to our CRM systems and how that helps us manage our customer relationships, all
Okay.
that. So we definitely do utilize it quite a bit all the way around. And it makes it so much easier for us and you, the guys, the customers. So.
Sounds good. You know, that's always important stuff, making fish more efficient, obviously more accurate. And we can definitely get into that. I like to start off just because we're in these COVID times, before we get into, you know, some of the other services and tips and advice for real estate investors out there, just people replacing roof in general. Uh, how is roofing different right now during COVID? Are you seeing anything different for trends or the way people are, you know, dealing with roof replacements? How's business in general?
So business is great. Numbers are up from last year, so that's definitely a good thing. Aside from that, I know when COVID first hit, you know, I think anybody in general was preparing for the worst. So the first few weeks, couple weeks, it was a bunch of, hey, how are we going to handle inspections? How are we going to do, you know, instead of sitting down at the dinner table with the homeowner and going over an estimate, you know, how are we going to do all this stuff? So a lot of it changed temporarily for us in the roofing world, in all sort of aspects. You know, we weren't meeting homeowners as much face to face. We were doing inspections and then just sending them over reports, or we were doing Zoom meetings with them. Aside from that, it changed how we meet adjusters. Adjusters didn't want us on site, or we were doing the adjustment for the adjusters. It did change a lot of different things, but honestly, the last few months, it's gone back to normal. You know, we're of course taking our precautions. We're wearing masks if we need to. We're talking to homeowners, seeing what if they've experienced any symptoms, things of that sort. Just we don't want no liability on our end, of course, and they don't from their end. But I'm going to say right now, things are back to normal. Really, I mean, it's aside from, you know, some people that may have any issues or something like that. I mean, we're meeting customers now. We're going into their homes. We're doing everything we need to do. So it's per situation, everything's a little different, but I would say it's normal for the most part now on our end. So.
Sounds good. No, that's good. I mean, small business, obviously, I feel like was hurt the most because, you know, and especially contractor stuff, you can't do your job, obviously, without being on site versus like an office or type tech job. So that's definitely good to hear. Maybe let's start with, since obviously there's a lot of real estate investors out there, maybe your process for insurance claims. Maybe walk us through how it would work with an investor who needs to file a claim on a roof, and maybe some tips there on how to get it done efficiently.
Okay, so the claim process is pretty much the same across the board for anyone. So how that pretty much works is call us out, whether you believe there's storm damage or not, or for just whatever the inspection. We're going to come out, we're going to perform an inspection on the property. We inspect everything. We don't just inspect the roof, we inspect the gutters, we inspect the siding, windows, anything that could have any possible wind or storm damage. We're going to document it. We're going to create a photo report for you, an inspection report. If we do find storm damage, then we'll let you know. We're going to send you over our reports. And then the next step in that case is you're going to contact your carrier. And your carriers, you're going to let them know that you had a roofer come out and confirm that there was storm damage, and they provided the documentation for that. The carrier is going to assign you to an adjuster. That adjuster is going to reach out to you and set a time to come out and do the inspection. In most cases, we will meet the adjuster there to do the inspection with them to confirm all the damages that we found and provide them with an estimate. And then if they agree to everything and we find enough damage if they find enough damage based off what we found and they agree to everything, then they'll create what they call a scope of loss. And then at that point in time, we'll start building everything that was damaged by the storm. So it's a fairly simple process. Now, a couple key things to that are storm dates. They want to know, typically a lot of carriers, if there's a storm date, let's just say if it was August 28th this year, you usually got a year to make the claim. If not, they'll find a reason to possibly not make that claim. So that's an important thing to note, is storm dates are really important. So I hope that answers your question on that part.
No, yeah. I mean, definitely storm dates. I mean, I've heard insurance carriers even go out farther than a year possibly, but I hear a lot of times they like to stay within a year. Um, but I guess it just depends. As far as working out how you get paid, what would you say the difference is between actual cash versus replacement value, and how does that work as far as paying you guys and how you work with the insurance company? Because I figure usually, they get a check for the depreciated amount first, you come in and do the work, and then you might get their deductible / come in for the rest of replacement cost. Tell me how you guys work it.
So there's a ACV and an RCV policy. RCV means replacement cost value, what it costs to replace it back to new. And ACV is the actual cash value, meaning they will pay you for what it's worth at that time. So so if it's a 30-year roof, though, if it's 15 years old, they'll depreciate it 50%. And if it's a $10,000 roof, then you'll get $5,000 worth of money, and that's it. That's on how an ACV policy works. RCV is different. If it's a $10,000 roof, you will get a $10,000 roof, and that's it. Now, on both of those, if you have a $1,000 deductible, no matter what, they're deducting that $1,000 deductible out of that. So, I mean, we typically work off what the insurance scope of loss is. A lot of times they are underpaying claims. They don't know the local codes. These adjusters may be from out of town. They may be an independent adjuster, whatever the case may be. I think they say around 60–70% of claims are underpaid. So typically when we're going through, the reason we provide a supplement is because, let's just say the insurance company comes out, it's a 40 square roof, and they give me a scope of loss for 10 grand. Realistically, let's just say it takes 18 grand to do that roof. So I'm providing a supplement and a estimate, all the local codes of the reason why we have to do that, because they do forget a lot of line items like starter, ridge, moisture guard. They may not pay for the correct steepness. They may not have the right measurements. There's a lot of things that go into there that we do on our end to make sure it's all paid correctly, to make sure you're getting the right roof back on. So, and not only that, we want to make sure it's up to code. I got to hold the warranties on it. We want to make sure the manufacturer specs warranties aren't voided the day it's completed. So,
And it sounds like when you mentioned that you try to check everything from guttering, the boots, make sure they're good. If you got box vents that are damaged, everything like that. Because even I guess like window trim, right, and stuff like that, that's all important stuff to replace during even skylights. So do you generally find those things are damaged too during a hailstorm and during your
depends the size of hail and the wind, what was going on there. But yes, so that's a lot of typical things that are damaged in it. I mean, we'll get people's grills paid for. We'll get their swing sets paid for, their fences stained, deck stained, solar lights that were damaged. I mean, we're looking for anything. They used to pay for plants too, but they stopped covering those. But garage doors, anything that was damaged by any sort of wind, hail, or storm event, we got enough knowledge. We go in there and we'll look for it and find it, and we'll document it, and we'll get the insurance company to pay for it. So. And then that goes into interior. If any interior damage was caused from any leaks or anything of that sort, we're getting them in there to pay for that too. So there's a lot of codes that are like decking for one. I don't know if you guys know what plank decking is, but if there's a 1/4 inch gap or more, it's considered a non-nailable surface. So then they got to pay to put new decking on top of that. So if it's a 1/4 inch or less, they got to pay to put new decking on top, or remove that and put new decking. So moisture guard's a big one that most people don't know about, or you may or not know about it, but it's an easy item that's missed off of every roof, and it's easily at minimal $800 or more, depending on the size of the roof and how wide the soffit is. So, so when people give us those scopes, they're like, well, hey, can't you do it for this amount? And we run into this all the time. Well, no, I can't, because there's a lot of code items missing. And my estimate could be $4 grand higher. Well, now you're just trying to take money from the insurance company. Well, no, I'm not. You want me to do your roof up to code. If you live in Prairie Village or anywhere in Johnson County where they're really strict, where they do mid-phase and final inspections, I have to do everything per code.
And HOA.
No matter what. What's that?
And HOA.
Yes, and the HOA, I have to do the right thing. So if I need to get more money, then great. That's just how it is. So a lot of it is, when it comes to any roofing or anything, you know, it's all about documentation is very important, of course. The next thing is education, you know, educating our homeowners on how everything works. Real important one is expectation, because there's so many things that they need to know and learn about. So we need to let them know about the good, the bad, and the ugly on every process, whether the insurance is involved, whether how the roof works, how the debris is going to come off the house. And then, of course, communication. So all those go into play with that.
Right.
Those are what we call the 4 ION words around here. It's kind of what we live and die by here at Blue Rain. So.
No, that's good. And what people can understand too is there might be some items that you might not need to replace that are maybe just cosmetic damage. If you have, you know, a little dent in your gutter and they're still in good shape and, you know, sized correctly, you might not need to replace those. Now, obviously that might affect a future claim when something can happen, because they'll give you the money and they'll say, hey, you didn't replace these. But there's the opportunity to use that towards maybe an upgrade, or maybe you keep it back, or for, you know, a different type of material for that install. Is that right?
Exactly. So for instance, if they pay for your window wraps and they're giving you have 20 windows and they're giving you $4,000 for window wraps, the first off, they're going to depreciate it, you know, pending the age of those. So let's just say they're giving you $4,000 and let's say depreciate it 50%, you got $2,000 up front, right? So on that depreciate, or the ACV amount up front, that $2,000, you can keep that money. The only thing that gets funny, and people always, this is where insurance fraud comes in play, is contractors are sending in false invoices for work they didn't do. So let's say I got a homeowner that says, hey, you know, I want to get this extra money for the wraps, you're not doing it, and Blue Rain sends in an invoice for $4,000, knowing we didn't do that work. Then you got to sign off on it. I sign off on that invoice. And if the mortgage company's involved, they may come out and do an inspection and note that this work wasn't done. Mm-hmm. And then we both committed insurance fraud. So those are things we don't do, but you can keep the ACV money up front. You can keep the $2,000. And if you got a $2,000 deductible, we can take that $2,000, apply it towards your $2,000 deductible. My main concern, of course, is the roof. I need to do the roof right. I'm warranting the roof. We want to make sure we're doing that to maximizing the claim for the quality materials that you're getting and make sure the roof's done up to code. So any items that aren't completed, you can keep the money up front. I won't invoice for them, but there's a lot of companies that will commit insurance fraud. Just know you as the homeowner are also committing that also. So it's important to know for all you people out there want to do your insurance fraud, and how that works and why that works out that way. And you can keep that money, and if whatever's not being done, you can keep that money. That's not a problem at all. And yes, you can do it towards an upgrade or whatever the case may be. But like you said, if your gutters are damaged now and the hailstorm comes again next year, they realize you didn't replace them, they will not pay you again for that work.
Makes sense. What about for, obviously there's different type of materials and you can get super deep. It's like, you know, picking out a TV, you could pick out different types of shingles and all this types of ridge vents, and you can get obviously as detailed as you want, picking out all these items for your new roof. What manufacturer do you install now, and what's the warranty with that? Or do you or can you go with obviously any type of roof material?
For us, it's about relationships and who's going to take care of us, and not only aside that, it's quality of product. So right now, and for the last 3 years, we've installed our primary product has been Owens Corning. Mm-hmm. And they have several lines, different products out there to use. We particularly use their product based off our relationships and then the quality of the product. It's a really good product. They got several different items out there that are really good, that last and do what they're supposed to. It's like anything else. There's a bunch of different manufacturers out there. That's who we prefer. Say the rest of the question again.
Oh, sorry, I was just asking, you know, who you preferred as, you know, the material supplier. Obviously Owens Corning is good. They have that, they have the strip, and I've heard, I've looked at the duration line. Obviously that's a standard. I've even seen the class 4 stuff, the duration flex. I'm sure you guys can obviously install it all.
Yeah. So the flex is a little bit about that, as a class 4 product. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's an impact resistant product. And the good thing about that is we do these a lot in upgrades is you get a discount on your insurance carrier or your insurance premium. So depending which side of the state line you're on, who your carrier is, what's coming off and what's going back on, we've seen people get up to a 30% annual discount by going with the Class 4 product.
Nice.
So, but OC is who we like to use. Now, it depends who our client is. You know, if we're working with investors and depending what that investor is doing, as you all know, it's sometimes it's turn and burn for them. They just want something that if they're going to buy it and sell it, they want something that they're just going to put on and go. So we may put a less expensive product on there, and then that's not up to me. That's up to them because we're trying to get them the best price. If people are holding, you know, we work with a lot of guys that buy and hold, and they want a good long-term product. So we may put the duration on there as compared to a Tamco Heritage. We may felt paper as into a synthetic. We may do plastic vents compared to metal vents. 3-tab ridge compared to a hip and ridge. So it just depends who our client is and us knowing who our clients are and what their needs are.
Right. And
So,
that's a important factor you're talking about right there, because everyone has a different goal and different price range. So, you know, if you're not doing a long-term hold, if you got a cheaper rental, you know, you don't want to put much money into, maybe you're not holding it very long, you might look into, I don't even know if you go to a 3-tab, but maybe a really cheap architectural shingle or something like that. But it's nice that you offer different options, felt versus the synthetic, you know, depending on the price, because, you know, that's how you're going to obviously keep track of your budget and fit the type of roof to your type of investment. So, because on your personal home, obviously you're going to go better.
Yes, and it's just like I said, getting to know our clients, and that's something we talk about every now and then in our weekly meetings, is getting to know our clients, demographics, what we're looking for, all that. It does make a difference into how we're going to bid this job. You know, there's some guys out there that are just, hey, here's my price, it's $500 a square, no matter what. We're not that way. We know that insurance is insurance. You know, we really enjoy insurance jobs. We know that investors, depending who they are and how many properties they handle a year, we know that that's also a good client. And it warranties. I have some investors I work with that they don't even want a warranty for me to warranty the roof. They just want this cheap turn and burn price. And so warranty, we typically offer a 15-year workmanship warranty on all of our roofs. But if I don't have to warranty that roof and something goes wrong in 3 years, or my guys mess something up, and this guy's just wanting, because believe it or not, you know this being in this world, there's guys that just don't give a shit about products or things of that sort. They just want to slap it on. Now, even though they're still that way, I still just can't put anything on a roof. Like,
Right.
you know,
Not just the plywood and take off, right?
Yeah, you're not ever going to see that. I always joke and say, man, my guys could put leaves on a roof and make it not leak. You can put the best product on there, you know, but it's depending how it's installed. So, you know, honestly, a lot of these products are really similar. Some just have bad reps. Some, you know, I'm probably one of the few guys in this industry, and there's definitely a lot of other ones, but over the years it's become popular to open a roofing company that have actually seen my warranties go through and see what a roof looks like 10 years down the road or 15 years down the road. So I can tell you what a GAF roof looks like after it's been on for 15 years, or a Tamco or OC. And there's a specific reason why we're sticking with OC right now and how their products hold up over time. I can tell you that a Tamco roof, how it looks like down the road, you know, but, you know, when we're explaining this to customers, a lot of times especially with COVID going on, we're not able to sit down at the dinner table with the homeowner and provide our value of who we are. So they're just going straight to a number, unfortunately. And so a lot of it's comparing apples to apples, and we've changed things up to do that. I mean, you know, we're a medium-sized company. We got overhead, you know, and unfortunately, who pays that overhead? The customer, right?
Right.
So we just can't go out there doing cheap roofs at cheap prices. If not, it's not me being a smart businessman.
Right.
Not only that is when I got to hold up that warranty, I'll be around in 10 years, unlike the other guys that are out here doing dirt cheap work, you know, and then they're the ones giving you a headache. So one thing I can say for investors, and just working with so many and over the years, is they're always looking for the best, cheapest price. A lot of them are, and I always say the newbies are because they don't know what they're doing exactly. The smart ones will find a good contractor and stick with them.
Yeah.
But there's so many new guys out there that are just looking for dirt.
Right.
And then they find themselves doing a lot of the work. As for us, when you come to hire me, we know all the codes, you know everything. We know all that needs to be done for that roof. So when you hire me for the roof, even if I'm $10, $15 a square higher than somebody else, you know what you're getting. You're getting a good product,
Right.
and you're wiping your hands free of it. You know, there's the city's not going to come and shut that roof down. Whenever the inspection's done for the sale, it's not going to be flagged or anything like that. It's going to be done right. And then if something is done wrong, then of course that's on me, right? So.
Right. That's a huge thing. You know, as you mentioned that time and just integrity in this business, as you know, you make a bad name for yourself, and then before you know it, they'll be blowing you up. Whether they're right or wrong, you'll be seeing your name all over the real estate forums, like saying, this guy screwed me over. And now you got to, even if you're right, you got to dig yourself out of a hole. So it is good, definitely sticking with just being a reliable company with character, and at the same time installing, a decent product and doing good workmanship, because a lot of times with these, like you're saying, materials, at certain points aren't that much different, but the quality it's put on is, and how it's put on is important. For me, I always tell people to have outside exterior stuff be put in good weather, because just in general, a lot of times them putting on siding or gutters, your roof, in bad weather, I think could maybe decrease your install quality a bit, even though you still might do a good job. But just knowing the human body, I always like.
Well, it's nuts. I mean, who wants to install roofing in 25-degree weather, or
Exactly.
siding? Or
they're going to hurry up and everything like that, and the quality might not be as good. Even the best roofer is still going to have freezing fingers that isn't going to be able to perform. So people just need to even think about that. And as far as warranty, I assume partnership is good, and being held to a brand, because you probably have a limited lifetime warranty, and then you obviously do your own type of warranty for workmanship. Is that right?
Yeah. So actually, that was a question you asked me earlier about shingle warranty. So, actually, all shingle manufacturers back in 2011, for the most part, the major ones switched to a limited lifetime warranty. Back in the day, I always say back in the day, there used to be a 20-year, 25-year, 30-year, 40-year, and 50-year shingle. That's what everybody knew. That's how it was marketed for years. Well, what happened is these shingles weren't lasting 30 years. So they had a 30-year warranty, but they're only lasting 15 or 20 years. And then the warranties, the way they wrote them up, were very limited. So, the first 10 years are typically 100% covered. And after that, they depreciate like crazy. So a lot of the manufacturers were getting lawsuits about them not lasting 30 years of that sort. So what they did is, I think the last one was Tamco, and they finally switched it up last year. They were still the original one that had 30, 40, or 50. Now they all have a limited lifetime warranty, and that's the lifetime of the first owner and the second owner. So typically how they work is they use the word limited, and they are very limited, just so you know. Typically the first 10 years are covered 100%. And in that first 10 years, it's only the products that are used by the manufacturer. So that manufacturer doesn't make every product on that roof. And most roofs, there's an average of 8 to 15 items that go on a roof. The manufacturer may only make 4 of those items. So the nails typically aren't covered, caulking's not covered, pinning what you use on that roof, it may not be covered if there's a defect in the first 5 years. Now, that also goes back on pinning the relationship you have with your manufacturer rep, all that fun stuff, and how much of a butthead that manufacturer wants to be if you make that claim. So first 10 years are covered 100% on all manufacturers these days. And then the first day of the 10th year, that 25% rolls over onto that first day. So the first day of the 10th year, you're automatically at 25% depreciation. And then every year after that, it depreciates 2.5%. So you get into year 20, 25, 30, you're not getting a whole lot for that roof. So, and the reason they did those 10 years is because that really has most people covered for the most part. Most people don't live in their home, I think, what is the average of 7 years. here in the Midwest, you're more likely going to get some sort of hail or windstorm that's going to damage it within those 10 years. So, and then by that time, most people don't even think about it, and they're just moving on to something else, whatever the case may be, or just get a new roofer in no matter what. So, but that's typically how all manufacturer warranties work now. It's a limited lifetime warranty. And one thing that drives me nuts is there's so many roofing companies out there that are telling these people, well, you get a 50-year warranty, a 50-year guarantee, and they're not explaining these guarantees or warranties 100%. I mean, we'll lose jobs because we'll explain this to the customer, and they're just so stubborn, stuck in their head. Well, I'm getting a 50-year guarantee over here. Well, okay, no, you're not. But so we try to back it up with links or information that says, hey,
Right.
please read this, please do your due diligence and understand your warranties.
Yeah,
Because
you got to go to the website, manufacturer's website, and check that stuff out, because when I was checking for Certainty to Owens Corning or anything like that, you could see there's a difference between having a non-preferred and preferred. First of all, that's
yes,
partnership comes in, and then as you even get longer into the warranties, obviously there's a bunch of caveats. It could be depreciation, is labor covered, is haul off covered, do you have enough
all
material?
that fun stuff.
You have
Yep.
certain materials installed, minimum.
Well, it sounds like you've done roofing before in the past. You know your stuff pretty
I've
well.
had to
So
replace, a few. So, but yeah, I think obviously it's not the sexiest subject for people to do some investigation in versus a new car. But I think construction in general is just super interesting. Just because you live in your house, so that's
it is, and it's crazy. And being a preferred contractor, we can offer special warranties that can get you a 50-year non-prorated manufacturer and a 25-year non-prorated labor warranty. So, it's possible. So we try to upsell those warranties quite a bit, just because they do cost more on our end. But it is possible to get a 25-year labor workmanship warranty through Owens Corning and a 50-year non-prorated manufacturer defect warranty through Owens Corning. Just costs a little bit more per square. And, Owens Corning will probably be around longer, hopefully not longer than Blue Rain Roofing, but let's just say I'm a terrible business owner and I go out of business in 5 years. So it is a smart choice whenever you are offered those special upgrades to get them, especially if you're a warranty person. I always say there's two people. Are you the guy at Best Buy that buys the warranty, or you the guy that doesn't buy the warranty? So that's the way to look at it. And if you want to pay that extra warranty, you're covered. And they're actually not that much in some cases to be covered that long on your roof. So if I go out of business in 10 years and the roof starts having issues in 15 years, Owens Corning will have you covered up to 25 years on labor, and then 50 years on the non-prorated manufacturer defects. So I may be off on a little bit of those numbers, but I'm pretty close on them. So don't hold me to them.
It's definitely a long time, and they've been around for a while. And a lot of times they make a lot of different products for other, it sounds like manufacturers too, and they just rebrand. Cool. Definitely a lot of detailed information. Last few items for like programs, stuff like that. Did you say you have like a storm watch or a maintenance type program too you guys offer? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So we have a couple different programs. We have your basic maintenance programs for commercial properties. We'll come out and assess the property and just give you a commercial maintenance program, whether it's an annual fee, a monthly fee, a per trip fee. And we also do the same thing for residential homeowners. You can sign up with us on a residential program, and they typically last for 3 years, I believe, and we'll come out once every year or twice a year to just do an inspection on your home, make sure everything's good. So we do definitely have some residential and commercial maintenance programs. So if you're interested about those, give me a call on those.
And do you have a program for like storm watches, or do you just generally go to a certain area that the storm hits, as far as when hail hits and stuff like that?
Oh, so we have right now we use an app called HellTrace.
Okay.
And what they do is they pretty much track all major storm events. And so anything that's over an inch or more is they can collect the data on, and they can get, very detailed down to the exact neighborhoods, to how many homes were hit, to the estimated amount, the property value, all that fun stuff. And then inside that certain app, we can, we go door knocking sometimes, depending, how things are. And so if we go up and knock on these neighbors, and we can track what the heck is that? I can't think. We can track, how many doors we've hit and all that fun.
Okay.
Canvassing app. There we go.
Okay, so the maintenance kind of includes you watching the storm. So if that happens, you'll come and see it during an inspection.
Oh yeah. So if anybody signed up on our maintenance programs, we'll definitely notify them. Hey,
okay.
We do that for anybody, whether it's our existing customers, whatever the case may be. We'll send out some sort of notification. Hey, there was a storm in your area or a hailstorm, whatever the case may be. So sorry, maybe I wasn't answering your question or didn't get it correctly.
No. That makes sense. And some people do them separately. That's right. You were touching on commercial stuff. You guys do TPO install?
Yes, we'll do TPO for sure. Okay. So any coatings, there's all types of coatings out there we can work with. We primarily use TPO and EPDM.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Looks like we got a lot of information. Was there anything you wanted to hit on? I know we covered a lot of stuff before we sign off with your contact info for everybody.
Yeah, I had a list here and we kind of touched everything. We were just a little bit all over the place with it, but that's all right. Property owners, whether you're an investor, whoever you are, just make sure you do your due diligence on the contractor you hire. There's so many resources out there like Better Business Bureau, Facebook, Google, Angie's List. Just make sure you look into your contractor before you make that deal. It doesn't take that long to look into them. It'll save you a lot of headache on the back end. What's that?
Sorry. Obviously, make sure they're insured and everything like that.
Yeah, so that's my next thing is look into them. And then, of course, general liability and workman's comp, especially being a contractor, those are two important things. I always use this example. If one of my guys are up on the roof smoking and they catch your house on fire, you're covered that way through our general liability. And the workman's comp is very important because one of the guys falls off the roof or gets damaged on a job, shoots a nail through their finger, whatever the case may be. If the contractor you hire does not have the proper insurance, who's going to come after you? More likely that employee. So it's very important to make sure they have active general liability and workman's comp. And you can even go as far as being a certificate holder on their policy. So as a simple request, you can do that. And we do that for a lot of homeowners and investors and business owners. And then another simple thing is just make sure you know your local codes. Do a quick call up to the city hall, make sure that business is licensed and that they're pulling any proper permits they need to do. So, and HOAs, make sure your HOA requirements are included in your bid or that they have the right shingle color, whatever the case may be. We did some roofs last year. One of my sales guys live in a certain area that has a HOA, and we got a lot of roofs from him living there, but then a lot of other guys were coming in doing roofs without having the proper HOA documentation or color. So that a lot of those homeowners actually were getting sued by the HOA and they had to tear those off and redo them. So your HOA is important. So make sure you know all those things.
That's a big deal for sure.
Yeah. And then financing. I don't know how we do this for some investors. We got some really good short-term options. Financing is really easy. You get approved in 60 seconds. We got short-term, no monthly payments, no interest for 6 months. You can go all the way up to long-term payments. So if you guys are looking into any sort of financing, let me know. We can hook you up with that. It's a real easy process. It's easy and it's fast. So let's see anything else I missed. I didn't get all the insurance work I wanted to. We talked about products. We talked about homeowners and different types of clients. Yeah, I think that's all I got on my end, John. I could keep on going if you want. We can talk roofing all day.
No, you're definitely a busy guy. Give people your contact info, your email, number, Facebook site, website again, all that good stuff.
All right. So company, of course, is Blue Rain Roofing and Restoration. The website is www.bluerainroofing.com. My direct cell is 816-808-9985. The office number, and they're usually the best call to make sometimes just because I'm in and out of appointments all day, is 816-358-ROOF. That's 816-358-7663. And then my email address is just bluerainroofing@gmail.com. Those are the best ways to get a hold of us, and we're always here to help out.
And you guys are just Blue Rain Roofing on Facebook?
Blue Rain Roofing and Restoration on Facebook is what it should be.
Okay, cool.
And then oh yes, of course. So you can find us at Blue Rain Roofing KC is our Facebook, and then we got Twitter and all that other stuff. But I don't
Instagram, Snapchat, right? All those things.
We got a Snapchat, but just find me on Facebook, okay? I'm most active on Facebook. I have all the other apps downloaded and Instagram and all that. And, you know, I like to take like social media classes or learn about it, you know, how to do this and that. And I think I'm terrible at it on Facebook, but I try to be proactive. And believe it or not, I mean, I'm always people hit me up for work and stuff, just being active as I am on Facebook. And I teach that to my guys too. I mean, it's free marketing. It's there. Take 20 minutes out your day to do some Facebook marketing and talk to people and build an audience. So.
Right. And you probably have other roofer friends that are just like in your Instagram photos, because you're posting, look at this beautiful roof. It doesn't have the same effect as some of the other Instagram postings, huh?
No, it doesn't. And actually, I had this conversation yesterday. Earlier in the year, you know, I had probably about 700 or 800 roofing friends, you know, and they were just friends because the last few years, the roofing industry has really come together through social media, and there's all these types of groups we help each other out in and just try to find ways to work together. And so I was marketing on Facebook, but I wasn't getting no leads, you know, and one guy was like, well, dude, who are your friends? And I was like, a bunch of roofers. And I was like, well, it doesn't work when you're marketing to a bunch of roofers. So I went through and deleted a bunch of those guys, and I will randomly go through and just friend request like insurance agents, real estate agents in different parts of the cities. And I don't know if you follow my Facebook, but I'm always posting something about roofing, or whether it's my family, just whatever. I try to do a little bit of both, some education, some entertainment, you know, all that fun stuff. So.
No, that's good. I mean, it's all about permission marketing, and you're pretty active on the real estate forum. So I think people get a lot of value just for adding you as a friend or checking out your posts on Facebook. Cause I mean, that's what it's about, you know, education. And when the time comes, they'll come to the guy that they saw a tip from. So that's pretty big deal. Cause as you know, there's a lot of, sometimes you see roofers on the news that install, you know, bad product and whatnot, and they're not standing behind their warranty. And if people check you out, I've checked you out, obviously, we want to have good contractors on there. You got a good reputation. So we appreciate it. Thanks for giving us your time and some information, and people definitely feel free to reach out to David if you have any more questions. Other than that, thanks for everyone for checking out the interview. Obviously, go to MAREI membership if you want to get to the MAREI membership there. Kim Tucker runs the whole the MAREI website and the whole the group with several thousand members. She's super active, so we thank her for giving us this platform. Other than that, have a good day, and definitely we'll have you on in the future.
John, thank you guys. I appreciate it. We're here to help out, guys. We'll see you around.
All right. Thanks, David. Have a good day. Later.
Adios.
Bye.